Now let's take a deeper look at lifecycle management in VCF9. VCF Operations 9 brings a consolidated interface for administrators to perform lifecycle management activities. Infrastructure components, including vSphere and NSX, are found in the new VCF Instances section, which communicates behind the scenes to SDDC Manager for orchestrating and patching and upgrades. Similarly, patching and deploying the management components is orchestrated by the new Fleet Management appliance. Keep in mind, although the SDDC Manager interface is deprecated in VCF9, the appliance itself is still very essential to lifecycle management, so it should not be shut down. VCF automatically downloads required software binaries for updating, patching, and deploying VCF components. These bundles align to a specific bill of materials, or BOM, which is validated and tested and then released to the online depot. And that gives customers the confidence and peace of mind in knowing that an upgrade will be predictable. Components include SDDC Manager, including internal services, vCenter Server, ESX, vSAN, NSX, and the VCF management components. In order to update VCF infrastructure or deploy new workload domains, the software binaries are required. Many admins configure their VCF deployments to download software from the online depot by connecting to the Broadcom support portal. There are VCF deployments that cannot access the online depot from the internet for technical or policy reasons. This prevents VCF from downloading new software binaries that are needed for updates and new deployments of infrastructure. New in VCF9 is the VCF download tool, a successor to the Offline Bundle Transfer Utility, or OBTU. These are both CLI tools. SDDC Manager has a configuration option that enables downloading from a local web server instead of the online depot. A customer-managed Windows or Linux server with adequate storage can be configured as an offline depot and is comprised of customer-managed web server that acts as a local mirror of the online depot. Another use case for this new capability is to improve scalability when there are multiple instances of VCF deployed. Binaries can be downloaded from the online depot just once, and then saving bandwidth as it's downloaded to the various SDDC managers inside the network. Here's how it works. To use the online depot, admins simply enter their Broadcom support portal download token in SDDC Manager and click to download the desired binaries. The VCF download tool CLI requires a server or portable system that can download the bundles and then connect to the internal network. From there, they can be synced to SDDC Manager and imported. And then the offline depot combines those two approaches and creates a local mirror of the online depot that SDDC managers can access on the internal network. VCF Operations uses SDDC Manager behind the scenes to perform lifecycle management operations. The updates are thoroughly tested to ensure a deployment is updated to the desired VMware Cloud Foundation version in the correct order, starting with the management domain components. Administrators can choose to run a pre-check to ensure the infrastructure is ready for an update. VCF Operations is the centralized graphical interface that accommodates all types of VCF infrastructure updates, including patches. Administrators can apply a patch to one or more of the components of a workload domain, and those patches are downloaded from the online depot, just like the install and upgrade patches. When a new BOM is released, an upgrade can be applied, which also applies patches at the same time, if a newer async patch has been released for that target BOM. This saves time by eliminating the need to go through a second time to apply patches after upgrading. Between major VCF BOM releases, it may be necessary to update one or more of the individual components to address reliability or security issues. These updates are known as async patches because they're delivered separately from the BOM. Previously, customers desiring to update their workload domains would need to use the async patch tool, which is a CLI utility. Starting with VCF 5.2 and continuing in VCF 9, async patches can be deployed directly in the familiar graphical environment. Customers can select available patches from a drop-down menu which is automatically updated when VCF receives updated bundles and binaries. Managing ESXi hosts software as a single image applied at the cluster level is much more efficient than the previous Update Manager baseline approach. VCF has supported VLCM images for the past several releases, and baselines have been deprecated, and they are no longer available in VCF9. As of VCF9, all domains must use VLCM images, which allow for customers to configure their hosts for desired state software updates. When using qualified hardware in a hardware management system, VLCM images unify not only your ESX image, but also your BIOS, firmware, and drivers through a single update process. VLCM images reduce the overall overhead of system maintenance within an HCI environment. To begin configuration, a cluster image is first created using your chosen vendor plugins and then imported to SDDC Manager. Once the workload domain has been created, a vendor hardware management system can be registered. A compliance check is then run, which identifies any drift in the environment from the desired state. This drift is then scheduled for remediation to patch your hardware and software to match your desired state. There are many customers that are not willing or able to allow VCF to directly connect to the Broadcom software depot in order to download software binaries. In those scenarios, as we've discussed, admins of disconnected sites create their own private offline depot with this new VCF download tool. It's the successor to the offline bundle transfer utility, and the two tools will coexist, with VCF-DT being for VCF9 and OBTU for VCF5.x. Offline depots help provide control and consistency as well as scale to environments with many instances of VCF deployed. And that concludes our section on lifecycle management.